Hey everybody, it's Tyler Austin. Thank you so much for watching. So I'm going to be starting a new series called AK Mythbusters, where I'm going to take the most common myths associated with the AK and bust them. So first, for episode number 1, we're going to probably talk about the most common myth out there, and that is that the AK is inaccurate. It's inherently accurate. The design of it is inherently inaccurate. And this is just blatantly untrue. The AK is more than accurate enough to get the job done, especially for a general purpose fighting rifle. Even if you grab a cheaper quality AK off the shelves of your local gun store, even those rifles will likely be capable of shooting 2 to 3 MOA at 100 yards, which, it's not like exceptional by any means, but again, more than capable enough for a fighting rifle. You got to remember, a 2-inch group at 100 yards, that's a 10-inch group at 500 yards, which is roughly the size of a dinner plate. And I can assure you, 99% of shooters cannot shoot 10-inch groups at 500 yards. Even if their rifle was capable of it, they're not capable of it as shooters. So there's that. Now, if you get a higher quality AK, higher quality production AK, like those brought in by like Arsenal or whatever, you'll see an improvement in accuracy, certainly. Those will hover around the 1.5 to 2 MOA mark more frequently, which, again, more than capable of for a fighting rifle, for a general purpose fighting rifle. You go up to custom builds, like those from Rifle Dynamics, you'll see even bigger improvement. Those will generally be closer to 1 MOA. Now, a lot of people like to compare the accuracy of the AR to the AK, which isn't a terribly fair comparison, and I'll tell you why. The AR's design is not as accurate as you've probably been led to believe. If you take your standard M16A2 or the M4 service rifle that is still in service to this day, that rifle is going to be probably around a 1.5 to 2 MOA gun. Again, nothing wrong with that, more than capable. But it's not the 1 MOA or sub MOA performance that you basically come to expect out of the recent civilian AR market. And so if that's the case, what has improved the accuracy of the AR really over the last 20 years, but probably more specifically the last 10 years? It's multifactorial. Better ammunition, better barrels, of course, have certainly played a factor. But the biggest contributor to the improvement of the AR's accuracy, again, primarily over the last 10 years, has been the introduction and really the mainstreaming of free-floated barrels and free-floated rail systems. That has improved the accuracy of the AR more than anything else. If you take an AR and you free float the barrel, you can take a gun that is shooting, that might be a little over a 1.5 MOA or even closer to 2 MOA gun, and get it way closer to 1 MOA, maybe even sub MOA with good ammo. So most ARs nowadays, you can't even really find an AR. It's really hard to find an AR that doesn't have a free-floated barrel nowadays. So most civilian ARs will shoot around 1 MOA. If it's a really good rifle, especially with good ammunition, it will be sub MOA, which is fantastic. Now, why is it an unfair comparison to the AK? Well, the AK, most AKs are built more like M16A2s or M4s or like standard M4 service rifles than they are to like modern like ARs. The AK has been slower to modernize simply because the AK is just not as popular in the United States as ARs are. So as a result, more companies are producing things for them and want to innovate the AR more than the AK. But free-floated handguards and rails are now being a lot more common, are now a lot more common on AKs than they were before. Most AKs still have wood furniture or just like old school polymer furniture that don't feature a free-floated, that aren't free-floated to the barrel. So with that being the case, their accuracy is going to be somewhat limited. Now, an AK benefits just as much as an AR when you put a free-floated handguard or rail on it. You can see an up to a 50% decrease in your group sizes when you put a free-floated rail on it, like this SLR Rifle Works rail on this AKP. So you can take a rifle that shoots, let's just say 2.5 MOA. Let's say it's just a cheaper quality rifle or whatever, and it shoots around 2.5 MOA. You can, if you put a free-floated rail on it, it will probably shoot sub 2 MOA. All right, that's not terribly uncommon. You get a better quality rifle, like I said, like an Arsenal. You could probably take that rifle from shooting 1.5, maybe closer to 2 MOA, and get it down closer to 1 MOA. Much higher quality custom builds, like those from Rifle Dynamics, a lot of those with a free-floated rail will shoot closer to 1 MOA, even sub MOA for some rifles. I've seen that. So again, AKs benefit just as much from a free-floated rail as an AR does, and if you want to improve your accuracy, get a free-floated rail for your AK, and you will definitely see an improvement in its accuracy, even up to 50%, which is pretty significant. So yeah, the AK, the myth that the AK is inaccurate, it's total misinformation. It's a complete myth, and it's just totally inaccurate. Anyone who says that doesn't know what they're talking about. I mean, you can easily just do a Google search. Let's look up Rob Ski, and he'll be hitting targets out at 500 yards with a huge variety of AKs, no issue. So again, complete myth, just totally inaccurate. The AK is more than accurate to do the job for any general purpose fighting rifle. So I hope you found this video helpful and informative. Please like, subscribe, follow, depending on where you're watching this. I'm Tyler Austin. Thank you so much for watching.